Hello, everybody. Mikaela, welcome. Oh, we've already knocked the microphone. Hello, everybody. Mikaela's got her hands in her head because she just knocked the microphone off camera.
I did.
We're back for another week of Grab the Trace. This one we're feeling is going to be a quick one. Is that going to be because the iPhone has limited storage on it and we might not make the full recording potentially? Is it because we've been looking at plans for 3 hours now and we've just got one that we're happy to speed draw? Yes, it is.
Could be potentially this is the second time we're recording this.
It is potentially the second time we're recording this as well. So, Mikaela, I might just move this one a smidge. There we go. Beautiful. How are you this week?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. We did like a little bit of like a bonus episode thing, a ramble while we were like making some kind of preliminary markings. I think you can see that.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a train wreck of an episode. There's a lot of stuff that would either need to be cut or whatever. So maybe for Christmas we'll release that. I don't know.
The blooper episode of that should never be seen.
100%. So without further ado, I have a special thing. Yes. After the kind of our first video episode, we can now officially bring you this. And nothing's playing. Why did that not happen? Hello? And here we go. Welcome to Grab the Trace, a home design podcast here to help you deliver your next project to its full potential. If you're looking for some tips and secrets whilst building a new home, renovating, or even just picking some window furnishings, stick around, pull up your plans, and let's grab the trace. Welcome back to another plan review. This is the one that we've promised you. This is... Can you speak in the microphone? Sorry, 1 second.
Yes.
Yours isn't working. Perfect. What have we done? Everybody at home, I might have accidentally bugged Mikaela's microphone up. We're going to give it a soft go. Go again. Muted. Oh my goodness, everybody, I accidentally muted.
Accidentally.
That's why the intro music wasn't playing, because I hit mute. So good, so true.
He did this on purpose.
Yeah, I've got the power. So we're back for another week of plan marker uppering.
Plan marker uppering. Yeah.
Now, this is the 2-story... I won't say monstrosity. That's a very awful thing to say about something. But this is the 2-story that needs love. Twice the stories, twice the plan reworks, pretty much. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it. We've already done our roadmap. We know where we are. We've even talked through some of these things off air about what we're thinking. So
we are.
Let us commence on the ground floor of our, what is it, a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 4 living spaces.
Huge.
A bit luxe.
Huge.
So let's commence, Mikaela. Kick us off. Where do you want to start?
All right, let's just start at the front, at the entry. So I think what kind of really lets this house down, being 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 4 living, kind of lends itself to like, it's a huge family house, but it's also like an entertainer's delight, as they say.
So good.
That'd be
That's
flashing
on the marketing.
on the pamphlet,
you got it.
You know it. But in terms of first impressions, they always say first impressions are so important. What does the street frontage look like? It's also what the front entry feels like and looks like. It's the first impression of someone's home. And I feel like not generic, that's probably the wrong term, but a lot of homes can lack a bit of personality from the street front. Yes, they can be beautiful, but you don't know really who's living there.
Yep.
It's not until you walk through someone's front door that you get their vibe, how they use the house, how they use the space, their taste in furniture, their taste in greeting guests. Like, are we presenting a direct corridor through to the fun zone, or are we taking the back alley? And I know it's always like the argument of like, who's right? Architects or interiors? Obviously interiors. But it really is so important, that first impression that you get when you walk into your home, someone else's home, anyone's home.
Yeah, totally agree.
It's the thing. So I think the priorities really started with that front entry for me. And the existing entry is just awkward. So it's a double door, which you would think like opulent, elegant, it's massive, it's oversized, it's generous, but you can only use 1.5 of these doors because someone's stair storage right in your face. And then even the layout of the stairs, like I love a formal entry to me. I think of Georgian, Victorian, opulent. I think of the big sweeping dual staircase. I feel like, you know, someone from Downton's just going to come sweeping down to the front
in
foyer.
their silk gown.
Yeah, for me, a 2-story home with a staircase in the front entry is...
It's a banger. It's a non-negotiable.
It's just a winner. You can't go wrong.
Yep.
Until these plans.
So
they've opened like 1.5 of the front doors onto this back of the staircase. They've got door on door with the storage under the stairs. They've got quite a tight staircase considering the space that it's taking up. And then they've got one kind of piddly little window on the landing.
Yeah, yep.
And you're just like, really? Is this like technically a double void area that you could have full height glazing all the way kind of up this front facade?
Like full height sheer moments. I'm thinking
like pendant light. I
want something
like
basked. Is it basked in light or it's basked?
No.
Casked?
What? Basked in light.
Yeah, but that sounds weird.
Does it?
I don't know, but that's what I want. I want the idea that light
flooded in
is
light.
Just that's it. That's what I want.
I just want an overabundance of light.
100%.
Just want to
I agree with that.
Wrapped up in sunshine.
Seriously.
All the buzzwords. So
let's start.
Let's just start. So on that, I'm sorry, I've talked about the entry not great with the doors. I've talked about how the staircase really isn't kind of working to its full potential. And then directly behind this staircase is they're labeling it as a powder room, but it is a full bathroom. There's a shower, a toilet, and a basin. All working awfully.
All working horrible. Against each other.
It's horrible. We've got a corner shower. You know I hate corner showers. We've got a piddly little basin that's in the longest, darkest section of the bathroom. Yep. They've got, yes, a concealed toilet, but it's kind of the first thing that you would see as soon as you come around the corner.
Anyway, yeah.
And then it's got no natural light, no ventilation, no opportunity for skylights. So it's kind of just all I'm not loving it. And then in terms of practicality, it is the powder room for the entire downstairs area, even though there is 4 living spaces, like outdoor alfresco, living, family, and a media room for one toilet. And then just to top it off, they've got a guest bedroom right at the front entry, and that would be the only bathroom. And then you kind of think, okay, a house of this size, this caliber, on this kind of plot of land, you would expect a pool. It looks like a very family entertainment-focused house. So there might be a pool. So now we've got the only bathroom downstairs that people can use post-pool.
Post-swim.
Then you've got the only powder room access, and then you've got the only bathroom access for guests. It's all not great, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot for a bathroom that's not really functioning too well to begin with.
Right. So
what we're going to do is we're going to get them double doors swinging first up. And this is so cool that you guys can kind of see this in real time. And I think all the thought that Mikaela and I put into it in terms of, I put into it, the thought that Mikaela pretty much put into it in terms of when we were doing our pre-flight for the plan that we're drawing off of, I guess, is there is a lot of things that just shouldn't be issues. And like when you look at some of these like house plans from project home builders and the like, you should feel free to be able to change some of these things. But unless you know what you want or know what you're asking for, you're just not going to get the opportunity to get, I guess, what you could have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, having said that, I think that guest study with that door change, I think that is literally the only room in the house apart. No, that is probably the least change in any of the rooms. Mm-hmm. And it's just sliding that door down to get that access into that kind of bathroom that now has that opportunity for external ventilation and light, like natural lighting.
Sorry, I'm enjoying you talking.
No, listen, I would like to kind of commentate this. So what we've got is the bedrooms in this house are pretty large to begin with anyway, aren't they? Like
they're very generous.
I'd
like
say
even the guest bedroom downstairs
high
is
3s
generous.
by high 4s in terms of like a footprint size. So I don't think we've really squeezed anything on the ground floor out of that guest study. But what we're doing on the upper floor is we're going to make a few efficiencies. Now, you may be looking at what Mikaela's drawing right now and you're like, my goodness, is that a horseshoe we're drawing? Are we going to the equestrian events? Oh, actually, on a side note, Mikaela sent me a very, very good Instagram reel about a horse that was dancing to some pretty good songs in the dressage.
Right?
I really loved that.
It was a rave.
It was so good. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to create a bit of a special moment here with a half moon, I guess horseshoe style stair that's just floating in free space. So by throwing that powder room bathroom onto the external wall at the expense of a little bit of that media room space, which will obviously then share that kind of loss of space with the family room because they're pretty oversized rooms to begin with. So why not just spread it? Is we're going to create that statement entry. We're going to make sure that that stair is off the wall so that way there's space for someone to get in there and clean underneath it. We were talking earlier in our little preamble thing about how high or how to design these kind of stairs. And the kind of general rule of thumb is if you've got a ceiling height that you want to achieve in a lightweight home, you're pretty much looking at adding about 400 mil worth of structure on top of that to get your floor to floor height. If your floor to floor height is more than 3.4 meters, you're going to need a landing in your stair. And that's just down to the fact that you can't get the tread to riser ratio to fit within the parameters that it needs to under the BCA. So big breath from me, but you need to kind of work back from 18 being a good point, because then at the middle point of your stair, you're going to have the kind of difference between a tread and a riser. Or if you want to go slightly less, say you want to do a 2.7 ceiling downstairs, you could probably get away with doing 17 treads, which gives you the kind of that, what would that be? The 8th tread. Or the 9th one. The 9th tread is actually like in the center of that stair. And it's all about avoiding the landing, because even though in the original plan, the landing gave you the opportunity for that glass and a little bit of storage under the stair, it's not really doing much. And it's a bit of a waste of space, where we're going to kind of come in now and create a bit of a statement feature thing. So Mikaela, while you're drawing now, we've moved into kind of roughing in some of the ideas we had for the kitchen. So we were kind of tossing and turning in terms of how homes are used now. And one of the things we're not a fan of that we do see from time to time is that a kitchen will kind of be directly off a hallway. In terms of the fact that, like, so where the original one was, the island bench was aligned with that hallway, that right-hand side of the hallway. So what we want to do is we want to pull back from that a little bit, just to give you that little bit more space for congregating, I guess, around the island, because it's our kind of social hub before kind of, I guess, you spill into some of these other areas in terms of the family room or the meals room or even the outdoor areas. We've spoken before about, I guess, towards the end of a dinner party or something, everyone starts to just hover around the kitchen table.
They really do.
This is not us designing space to try and make that a more enjoyable experience in terms of giving people enough space to just kind of hang around and chill out. But it's more you don't want people to walk away being like, gee, it was a bit tight at the end there. It's a bit like squeezy.
You want it to still feel generous.
Yeah, 100%. And then I think we were even talking about, you could have, like, say you've got a milestone birthday, you would have a big dinner party or whatever, and you've got people coming in, and so they've walked down your hallway and they've opened up into this big space. If it's a big event, usually they'll have a gift or something. So, like, that's where you've got the ability to do the gift handover without blocking kind of the entire hallway. Like, when people give you like a bottle of wine or here's a card and all that kind of stuff, it's just, it gives you a little bit more space, and space is something this floor plan had plenty of to use.
Absolutely.
What are we looking at? So the laundry as well. My goodness, we've done a bit of a rework on the laundry, because it was for most of these kind of homes, it's not a bad size, but it's not great with the way that it was set up with the external sliding door coming out of the laundry. We talked about this when we did our other plan rework in terms of fitting in a hinged external door. For this type of lot, say that wall that garage on is built to boundary wall, we would just kind of put that door maybe where the sink is and have it run out there. But the difference between having a hinge door and the double sliding is you're going to get like an extra 600 mil. So you'll get an extra cupboard by doing that anyway. So that might mean the difference between having to have your washer dryer combo kind of stacked above each other or being able to fit them under bench, which is a huge thing that we kind of advocate here. The other thing that laundry kind of replaces now is there was like this weird split in the kitchen where kind of the fridge and what we were assuming is probably like the oven stack wasn't actually connected to the rear bench or the kitchen island. It was almost in a separate rear bench and island arrangement that was adjacent.
So disconnected. It felt very weird.
We thought it was maybe like a bar area, but then we were looking into it and we're like, oh, we think that's actually where the water point will go for the fridge. Something we 100% were fine with, and we just kind of flipped it to suit our needs, was the butler's pantry was a really good size. But what we wanted to do was just kind of throw in a little bit more space in terms of getting some like meaningful rear bench depth. I guess like workspace back there, your little back of house area. Mikaela's drawing in the dining table now. Originally, the dining table was kind of shown vertically, and we were kind of having a little bit of a giggle because the dining table itself looks super thin, like compared to...
Way too thin.
Yeah, way too thin. It looks like something that maybe an architect on this podcast would draw when they know a dining room is too narrow and they still want it to feel like it ticks all the boxes, but they're just lying to themselves. We've got a fireplace as well, everybody, where because it's just a bit nice, isn't it? Because you've got so many other like theatre media rooms. Like if you're going to do like a big ass TV, do it in there. Like we're setting this up to be quite a formal, fun place. And then probably one of my only contributions to this whole process was the outdoor alfresco area is just too small for how big this is. And you have the opportunity to kind of run it the entire way along the rear of the house. And then you can provide meaningful cover and shade to the whole thing. You kind of open yourself up to the ability to have all of these external windows become... I mean, we were talking about maybe doing a little bit of a Beck Judd moment in terms of some double doors kind of running out to the back. But then you can still do side light windows to let ventilation and a little bit of air in there.
Why not?
As well. We've got an outdoor kitchen. Is that what we're drawing right now?
Yeah, you know it.
We've crept... listen, that wasn't on the original plan, everybody. We've got a little bit of scope creep.
Sorry, I saw an opportunity.
You got to run with it. You got to run with it for sure. Is there anything else that I've missed that we were talking about earlier? I think we were in the family room where there's like the billiard. Oh, I buggered it up. We were talking about this earlier. I buggered it up as well. I said snooker, but I think it said snooker. Maybe. The billiards table, I think it's becoming a little bit more of a niche, I guess, request in homes. Like I haven't worked on anything in the last couple of years that it's been a request for the spatials of it. I find, especially with like the project homes like this, it's probably not going to be as common as it would if you were going through like a custom home builder where you're kind of presenting to them, I need these kind of spaces with these dimensions and these kind of qualities, so that they can then kind of like program it and squeeze it in. It feels a little bit forced in this floor plan, and it's just down to the fact that there was just more, I guess, more floor space than they knew what to do with. So we, as I said earlier, we've squeezed that bathroom in there. We've split the difference between the media and the family room, and now we've got just a reasonable sized, we've got two reasonable sized living areas that are off, I guess, our main big one down here. We're also looking at adding some kind of acoustic treatment in the form of doors, whether they be pocket or barn doors. I can't remember which one we don't like more of the two. Are you a barn door person or a pocket door person if you had to pick?
Depending. Oh.
Like in this situation, would you be barn or pocket?
Pocket. Because I just want... Or like cavity slider. I just want something concealed.
Yeah.
I could close it off acoustically if I need to, but then I can have it opened up. You can't see it. A barn door is like, it's always there.
It's a bit of a statement thing.
Yeah. And then if your taste change, if you go, you know what, really don't like that anymore. And now I've got
really don't like that.
But then you don't want to get rid of it because that's your only acoustic treatment. Where a cavity slider is like, you don't like it, you slide it away. You just never open it.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's just fine.
It's just fine, you know.
It's just fine.
I think, yeah, for this one, the intention was like one big cavity slider. I've done it.
That's okay. Everybody, Mikaela knocked the microphone, but that's fine. I can sort that out in editing. That's not an issue at all. I like the idea of the one big, because the issue with doing a double cavity slider, which I was kind of maybe a little bit fishing for a little bit of help when I was talking about that earlier.
Oh, my bad.
Is it's the seal. No, just in terms of, I think you've actually solved the answer. Is the seal between the two, and we have mentioned this before, if you've got two, like the natural
two
thing
doors
is like
butting up against each other.
Back out we go. Yeah, it doesn't.
Even, I feel like, do you even do that when like a single cavity slider and you like, and it goes ting and then it hits the door jamb and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's not for me. You can put a soft stop on there, but at the same time, like that feels like a little bit much. Nah.
Well, what are we feeling?
Listen, the other thing that I don't know if I mentioned yet was the storage in the garage is a huge boon to the kind of functionality of this floor plan, because I mean, unless you're going to put it, I don't think this is the kind of house you would put a shed in, if that makes sense, because we're going to have the pool, we're going to have the lovely landscaped outdoor area.
Well, what? Oh, weird. I do feel that if there's going to be like a pool, there's going to be pool equipment. You still need a lawnmower, like maybe a garden shed.
Maybe a garden shed.
I would probably opt, because like, where does the pool equipment go?
Well, that's it. You probably have like a proper like pool enclosure that you might be able to build all that stuff in. But like I'm saying, you're probably not going to have like a 3x3 meter shed just in the backyard here. So you might be able to like split the difference between them and like kind of put all your tools and stuff inside on these shelves, and whether they're built-in joinery shelves or whether it's like, who knows, you might even get in there and kind of customize it and build a workbench to suit your needs.
Oh, yeah.
Or you might just do the big like kind of Coles storage racks where you've got the mesh on the big metal kind of brackets.
Oh, yeah. I'm just relocating those support posts because they're in my way and I need a bigger entertainment space.
That's okay. We'll take it up with the engineers.
Well, if I'm already extending this slab the entire length and width of the house, like...
It's a good point.
Who's going to stop me from extending it a metre further? Really?
Beautiful. I think that's
Stunning.
our downstairs.
Okay. Just want to like... I know you've literally recapped, but like look at this massive... entryway that we have now, beautiful like curved stair going like all the way upstairs. All of this now gives us the opportunity for like full height glazing because the staircase is off that window. Then we've got a beautiful separate entry to our guest. We have a separate entry into our guest ensuite. Again, the addition of natural light, ventilation, everything's concealed. Like you can never see a toilet, a basin. You can never see into the bedroom from the entry. I just think it works really nicely. Then it's creating this like sight line all the way from the front porch, all the way back out to potentially the pool area or the backyard. You're coming through. I love this like concealed feeling of a butler's pantry. But like, again, I'd put the integrated fridge.
Yep.
Back in there, you've got heaps of bench space, additional sink. You've got all this like blind cupboard storage for pantry, dry goods, appliance nook, and it's all tucked away. It's all tucked behind.
What else could you want?
Right? Then you come out, you've got a giant island, and now it feels like it's more centered to the entire living and dining space instead of just like your weird dining table that was there.
That gap between the island and the second part of the island, that was like a little bit jarring for me.
Yeah,
and like I understand
odd.
why they've drawn the island at that size, because that's about, I would imagine that was probably about 3 meters, which is where we're starting to get to in terms of like maximizing island width before we start getting real custom. But
fair. Now, the only reason I would kind of like to note, you would technically get more storage and more bench space if you continued this kitchen like across where the entry to the butler's is. But I don't like the idea of being in the kitchen and then having to enter into hallway space to then get into a butler's pantry. I feel like your butler's pantry does need to be right in your kitchen. Yeah. You shouldn't have to leave your kitchen. Go into another area, which is technically thoroughfare space, to then re-enter butler's pantry.
I agree with that.
So I kind of sacrifice that. And that's really generous. That looks at least like 1,200.
Yep.
1,400 even. So we've got a huge island, huge rear bench that's pretty much like all clear except for this cooktop. You could even have like a big 900 oven underneath and then do a microwave oven on the island. So we've got our appliances sorted. We don't have to have any tall cabinets there. Then I love this new access from the garage. It's centered between the laundry and the kitchen. Again, the existing plan for me really put me off that, you know, I arrive or, you know, husband and wife arrive, they park in the garage and they have to, their only access is to go through a laundry.
Yeah.
Again, if you have pets, if you've got dogs, cats, like kitty litter, I know people like keep all their like pet stuff in their laundry. If you've just literally doing a huge laundry day and the kids come home from soccer and they come all through with their muddy boots and you're like, I'm literally cleaning your clothes.
Yeah, guys, please.
Can you get out?
Yeah,
get out of my laundry.
My space.
But it's the thoroughfare. Like I always like to, your laundry needs to be separate. It is not a thoroughfare space. It's not a mud room. It's not a designated mud room. I'm all for mud rooms, but not when it's the only thoroughfare space from a garage or an entry into the rest of your house. Like,
agreed.
So that was the kind of thought process behind that. Laundry, I feel like it just needed to double in size because I love laundries.
Well, for a house of this size as well.
Right, in this caliber. So I wanted to, again, kind of get my utilities wall and then my storage wall. So the same wall as what's backing onto the garage. That's pretty much my like storage. Utilities, all my full height. I've got broom, mop, hampers. I might even have like a hanging rail, all my drip dryers. And then on the other wall, which has natural light and ventilation because it's got a window in the exact same spot, didn't move it. I've centered the sink on that window.
Stop it.
Beautiful. And then I've got washer dryer. So that's like my utilities. That's my doing everything. But I've still got natural light and ventilation, which is really, really important in a laundry. You don't want to feel like you're in a dark, depressing room when you're already doing a dark and depressing task.
Oh, listen, far out. If that's not a sell for you to upgrade your laundry life, I don't know what it is.
And then obviously access. So instead of your access kind of coming out behind your living area where they had windows, so you were kind of like looking out onto what would be your laundry or your like drying court. So you're going to have your, you know, potentially there would be your like side boundary fence quite near this. And what, you'd have your like hamper just chilling on the wall and all the window looking straight at it.
Yeah.
Like, no. So in creating this fireplace, in creating this window and thoroughfare, you already have to be like, what's the minimum boundary?
We'd be probably 1
meter.
One here. Yeah, we're looking for maybe 1.5 to be generous.
Which is enough thoroughfare space to obviously like get past,
get in and out. Yep.
Right. Done. Love that for us. Again, living room. We technically we kind of encroached on the space a little bit, but by extending this laundry, we've created this nook and it feels private. And now it's zoned. And now you've got clear entry from the garage. You've got clear separate laundry. You have really nice designated kitchen space. We've rotated that dining and it actually feels now really generous. And I wanted the living, the dining and the family area to flow. I think that's really important that we can open all that space up and that's your entertainment zone. But then at night, the kids can still have the family space. Adults can still have the formal living space and everyone's got their place.
Just got their thing.
And then again, how much of a difference does that make by just pouring a slab the width of the house?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's your outdoor entertainment area. It could literally just be like a slab of concrete and you can put some furniture out there. And honestly, that's a better use than just a really, really nice area that's just way too small.
It's just an awkward,
I think it just highlighted how awkward of a space it was, where now it makes the entire living, dining, family, outdoor alfresco area feel like one massive space.
It does. Beautiful.
Stunning. We're done.
We're done.
Done for the ground level. Tick, tick.
Done for the ground level. Do we potentially want to split this up into 2 episodes?
I think so. This is
a lot. I think
little bonus episodes.
Because I feel like compared to the last time we did one of these planned ones, this is a high quality kind of outcome now that you can see us drawing it all. It's also in like a bit more of a bite-sized package.
Yeah.
Let's just let it be. This is good. Everyone, we're not just padding because we haven't figured out what's happening upstairs. We have. You've seen it on the page. And we'll bring it to you next time.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Well, Mikaela, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How good was that?
Oh, look, what a whiz.
Bloody excellent. Well, everybody, on the count of 3, we're gonna say toodaloo, and then we're gonna kind of make sure we don't mute Mikaela's microphone again,
That would be
I'll
great.
play the outro music, and you can watch us just kind of like bop our heads
along.
to it.
Woot, woot.
Well, fantastic. Well, on the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Toodaloo.
We've come to the end of another episode. If you have any questions, reach out to us on our Instagram @GrabTheTrace. Following, sharing, leaving a review or a rating is the best way to help the show. Our opening and closing music was created by Robert Hellberg. And whilst we try to help as much as possible, this podcast is of a general nature and won't be able to take into account your individual circumstance. If you need personalised advice, you should engage a relevant professional consultant to help make the best decisions for your situation. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.